Let's start with our lecture. So up to now, what we had done is studied three types of converter, and those converters were classified according to our output voltages that we were getting. It was a DC to DC converters. One of the converter was called buck converter, so it was stepping down the voltage. The next one was boost converter, that was stepping up the voltage. And the third one discussed yesterday was a buck boost converter. So it can either step up or step down the voltage if we control our duty cycle D. Okay. So today we will discuss some of the control strategies of how the switching is done and classify choppers now according to quadrant of operation. So we'll jump into the topic. What is basically control strategies? The whole circuit operation that we were seeing is that by turning on or off the chopper or the switch, the MOSFET or BJT, how it was turned on and off, the circuit operated. So we had two mode of operation during T on and T off. T on meant that the switch is on, T off meant T on meant the switch is on, T off meant the switch is off. So we have to periodically switch on and off our switch so that we get a controlled output voltage. That may be higher output voltage or lower output voltage, or according to our configuration which we are using. So there are two control strategies which are generally used. These two names are given over here. One is time ratio control, one is current limit control. From this name only, if you see the name time ratio control, we have learned about a definition of duty cycle. D is equal to T on by T. So it is a time ratio. So in the first thing, time ratio control, we are controlling the duty cycle D. And current limit control. Current limit control, I am basically telling you that it is dependent on the inductor current waveform. We will check to it. So according to the name, we have to, if certain limit of current is reached, we'll switch off the circuit. If below something it falls, then we have to turn on the circuit. Like that, we have to limit the current between two values, a minimum and maximum values. So that is what current limit control states. And time ratio control is controlling our duty cycle D, which is nothing but T on by T. So we'll first discuss our time ratio control. So first point, see here the duty cycle is varied. So you are changing the T on by T time. This time ratio control can be divided into two schemes. One is constant frequency scheme, one is variable frequency scheme. Now if you see the equation over here, T on by T, so there is T on into 1 by T, and 1 by T is nothing but your frequency. Okay, so if you change your this T, capital T, your frequency will change. If you keep this T, capital T constant, then your frequency will remain constant. That is why we are describing as a constant frequency scheme when my time period is kept constant. So my frequency will be kept constant. And the second is a variable frequency scheme. So you are changing your value of T. Okay, so you can change your value of T or your T on by T off. T you have to change so that you can get your variable frequency. Otherwise you can't get variable frequency. If you keep your T constant, you will get constant frequency. So the first constant frequency scheme is also known as pulse width modulation control, PWM. How you are bringing about PWM? See, our output waveforms which we had seen had a positive part, negative part, right? We are thinking that negative part to be 0. Think like this: the output voltage now comes out to be positive 0, then positive 0, then positive 0. Like this it continues. Now if my duty cycle, my first is constant frequency scheme, T is constant. See, in these two figures, T from here to here, if you draw a line, T is constant. So my scheme which we are using is constant frequency scheme. Since your time period is constant, frequency will be constant. But what you can change is your duty cycle. If you change your T on, T remaining constant, that means your duty cycle is changing. So if you take a smaller duty cycle, suppose it is 25%. So this pulse width will be very small. So suppose this is 25%. If you take a higher value of alpha or D, whatever we had stated, in many books they will set as alpha, D or K. Okay. So don't go by this terms. Please remember the name. This is duty cycle. Okay. So now you are changing the duty cycle. Alpha equal to 75%. So on period has increased. So T is same again. So again D will change. Duty cycle is varied. Keeping T constant. T is constant in both the figures. This method is known as pulse width modulation control. Pulse width. This pulse width is varying. This on period is varying. This pulse width is varying. So it is smaller, it is bigger. So that's why it is called pulse width modulation scheme. Next, what is variable frequency scheme? Now in variable frequency scheme, your time will change. See this first one. This is my T on. This portion is T off. So up to this is my T now. Now for alpha equal to 25%, this one. Okay, I have reduced the T. Okay, so my frequency becomes now variable. Or if you want to look at this figure, you can I can make a comparison between these two and show you that the T is changing, so my frequency will change. Or if you make the comparison as according to the diagram which is shown, this one and this one. Okay, now this becomes my total T over here. This variable frequencies modulation scheme can be divided into two parts. One is constant T on, one is constant T off. So if you keep constant T on, so the T on is constant, this width is constant, this width is constant, up to this it is constant. For these two figures, this width is constant, but T off varies. This part varies, this T off varies, this T off varies. So we are keeping a constant T on. Both figures have constant T on, but there is a difference in time period. This is a capital T over here. This total is a capital T. So variable frequency. Similarly, you can study for this figure also. Same time. So these are the two schemes that how time ratio control is differentiated into. So one of the most common scheme which we go for is this PWM scheme. Okay, the frequency time period remains constant, so frequency also remains constant. So why we generally go for this scheme? Can anyone tell me any reason? Anyone? Why we prefer constant frequency scheme over variable frequency scheme? Achha, remember this frequency which we are stating is your switching frequency. Your supply is DC. So this is frequency is switching frequency. How the switch is turned on and off, not the supply frequency. Please don't confuse with your machine, which I also teach you. There I take as supply frequency. Over here, don't mistake by that. In the power electronics, we are taking switching frequency. Okay, over here. So anyone, can you tell me why constant frequency can be preferred over variable frequency? Only one reason I need. Other reasons you can find in book also. Okay, see what happens in constant frequency. This is frequency dependent, right? If your frequency changes, all this, last day what we did, we studied about buck boost converter and designed our capacitor CL value. If you check your relationship, whatever we have designed, you will see that those LC values are all dependent upon your switching frequency Fs. So if your switching frequency changes in the second scheme, if your switching frequency goes on changing again and again, your value of inductor capacitor will go on changing again and again. it is very difficult to implement different value of inductance capacitance in one single circuit again and again. So it's a good method to go for constant frequency scheme only, where my inductor energy storing elements values will remain constant, because those are switching frequency dependent. Other reasons you can find in books, in these schemes there are many interference caused with the some communications lines, and also if you take for this, see in this diagram, if you take larger value of T off, if T off is very large, then sometimes inductor current may become discontinuous in nature. Like all currents which we have studied were continuous, rising from some point then coming back to that point. If you take a huge value of T off, then it may rise to that point, settle down to that point, and you give more T off, then it will slowly decay to zero, then again it will rise. So inductor current can become discontinuous if you take larger value of T offs. So you see in this scheme, large value of T off is there. So in over here, if you implement, there is a chance that inductor current may become discontinuous. We'll see in a diagram also where inductor has become discontinuous. Next, so current limit control. This is another control strategies that are sometimes implemented while controlling the switch. How it is done? See, first the inductor current is drawn. If we design an inductor and we know the maximum and minimum value of current through the inductor, so if we design a current, this rise in current we had already studied in all the topologies which we have studied. If there is a rise, that means inductor is charging. If there is a fall, that means inductor is discharging. So how it happens? This is the T on period. This is actually the T off period. If you recall all the facts which we have studied, this was T on, this is T off. So I can say this part is T on, so this part is T on. This part is T off, so this part is T off. So I can design a circuit which is producing a duty cycle like this according to the value of inductor current. Okay, but generally the most common thing is pulse width modulation control, which is a constant frequency scheme. Now after that, our today's main topic is how do we classify chopper according to quadrant of operation. So here are 4 quadrants made. I have discussed also in the first lecture. Today also we will discuss it little bit more. 4 quadrants are made over here according to the output voltage and output current polarities. So this is my first quadrant where voltage and current are positive. Second quadrant, current negative, voltage positive, and goes on for third quadrant, fourth quadrant. Now motoring, how you are saying a motor means as accordingly I said that speed can be only controlled below some rated value by using a rectifier, because our average value of the control rectifier is always less. But so in order to increase that speed, we have to increase that voltage. So after the rectifier, we will connect a DC-DC converter which will step up the voltage, and accordingly speed will increase. Okay, so motoring actions. So that is the basic application of your chopper. Motoring actions, there are many other applications. If you consider chopper configuration according to 4 quadrants, so what comes into everyone's mind is load is a DC motor. Okay, application of chopper is renewable energy, solar drives, everywhere you use choppers, buck boost converters, everywhere they are used. Okay, first quadrant, power, check the power, positive voltage, positive current, so positive power. So power is entering into the motor, so this is motoring mode. Second quadrant, this is braking because power is negative, opposite direction. Fourth quadrant, power negative, so braking. Third quadrant, minus into minus gives me plus, so again a motoring mode. But if you check the first and second quadrant, it is termed as forward. If you check the second, third and fourth quadrant, it is termed as reverse. Why reverse? Because our E naught is changing. Okay, if you remember how you change the direction of rotation of DC motor, we change the armature voltage terminals. So armature voltage terminal change, so negative, it becomes negative voltage negative. So Now the rotation is in the opposite direction, so we call it as reverse. This too, all positive voltages armature terminals are normally connected positive to positive, negative to negative, so these two are forward. Okay, so if I consider anti-clockwise as forward motion, so in the first two quadrants motion of the motor is in anti-clockwise direction, and third, fourth quadrant it is in clockwise direction. Now classification according to quadrant of operation. We have 5 classes of chopper that we have to study. That is class A, B, C, D, E. Class A is your first quadrant chopper. So I have drawn over here only your first quadrant, positive current, positive voltage. Class B is your second quadrant chopper. So this is your second quadrant. Class C is your 2 quadrant chopper which operates in first and second quadrant. If you can see that class A is operating first, class A is operating in second quadrant. So if you combine class A and class B, obviously you will get class C, because see, first and second quadrant, these two combined will give me first and second quadrant operation. Class D is first and fourth quadrant operation, and class C, very important, you can operate in all the 4 quadrants. This we have to check how it operates. Okay. This is our classification, and next what we will do is go on studying it according to its voltage polarities and all. We have to check and voltage polarities and all, will check it and classify according to quadrant of operation. So today we'll just discuss 2, class A and class B, and then next day we'll be continuing with class C, class D, class C. So class A chopper. This is a basic circuit of your class A chopper. We have a DC source, EDC. Then we have a chopper. Okay, chopper is your BJT or MOSFET. We have a diode like this. We have an inductor. We have a load. Since we are classifying into quadrant of operation, the load will be a DC motor. So it can be replaced by RLE. So we are replacing it by RLE. R comes, the inductor and this inductor comes in series. So one equivalent inductance forms over here, and there is a back EMF EB. And that output voltage E0 is across this load. In the second figure, if you realize this, output voltage is across this load. So in your exam, if it is told to draw this figure 3 only. Okay, no need to draw this figure 3, but you have to draw this quadrant of operation. We'll come to this quadrant, but you have to draw this second figure. Now if you look at this figure over here, it is nothing but your step down chopper. Okay, step down chopper. So step down chopper had a switch, DC source over here, chopper, then diode, then our load, capacitor and all we had. So this is basically a step down chopper which we are getting, but we have to check whether this chopper, class A chopper or first quadrant chopper which we are stating, is actually operating in this first quadrant or not. So how do we check it? So if you see that the first quadrant operation, my voltage and current both are positive. There are 2 modes of operation of any power electronic circuit, or I will just tell it for now only for a chopper or a DC to DC converter. Once this switch will be on, there will be a circuit. Once the switch will be off, there will be a circuit. So for those 2 circuits, I have to check whether my voltage and current are both positive or not. Then only this circuit can operate in first quadrant. Then only this quadrant can be drawn for this circuit. If in both cases E0 and I0 are positive, then only this quadrant of operation can be done. So this is our next point of study. Okay, I'm going to this diagram once more. Just explaining you over here only, then you will go to the figure. Now when this switch is on, current will start flowing from this positive terminal, goes through this, can't flow through this diode, it will flow through this RLE load, then back to this E negative. Okay, this is our first diagram. Next.
স্যার একটা ডায়োডের অ্যাক্রসে এত ভোল্টেজ থাকবে কি করে?
হ্যাঁ,
একটা ডায়োডের অ্যাক্রসে এত হাই ভোল্টেজ কি করে থাকবে? ডায়োডটা তো নষ্ট হয়ে যাবে।
power diode.
ও, পাওয়ার ডায়োড।
All power diodes. Not that 0.7 volt or 0.6 volt, 5 volt diode.
ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
And when the switch is off, when this switch is off, so this inductor will now act as source. Since inductor was charging in this direction only, so it is discharging in the same direction. Drive this current through this diode. There will be a freewheeling action in this part. This part of the circuit is cut off. Now inductor is supplying the load, whatever energy is there, it will supply the DC motor and it will discharge through this diode. We'll go to the next diode. Okay. See, when switch is on, what happens? It starts from EDC plus, goes to switch, then RLE back to minus. Correct? When switch is off, this load acts as my source, it will discharge through this diode. There's a part. So first circuit I have taken two things, one is I01, one is V01. Now since current is flowing from EDC plus to this direction, so I01 is given in this direction only. I01 direction is this one. It will flow in this direction, so upper terminal will be positive, lower terminal will be negative. Now inductor discharges in this direction, same direction as I01, so I01 and I02 direction are same. Okay, since inductor is now acting as my source, I have changed the polarity, or if you don't understand how polarity is changed, keep it plus minus only, no problem. But since inductor is acting as my source, the polarity of this will change, or if you apply KVL in this path, you will see that there is a decrease in the voltage. L di by dt minus EB it will happen. So there will be a decrease in the voltage. So I have changed the polarity as minus of this. Okay, while discharging, inductor polarity changes. But now how we will calculate this value? See, I01 direction is entering my load. I02 is also entering my load. Going to the main figure, all directions considered in the main figure is positive, or this figure. So the current direction is over here, entering my load. I0 is entering my load. E0, upper terminal will be positive, lower terminal will be negative. Then only E0 will be positive. E0 upper terminal positive, lower terminal negative. These are standard directions and polarities of voltages and current. Now I0 is flowing in this direction, I2 not 2 is also flowing in direction which you looked is same as this I0 in this direction only. So in both cases I01 and I02, sorry, I have given wrong direction. I02 will be positive. Okay, I01 and I02 will be positive. I'll change it and send you the PPT. This direction is in this direction only, so positive. Okay, change it. Okay, I'll change it later. I can't change it now. Achha, it is wrong written over here. Please don't go look at this one. I'm telling you, I01 inductor is charging in this direction, I02 is charging in this direction. So both cases current is positive. So I01 and I02 will have same direction, and according to standard polarities in direction, it will be positive. Now what will happen to V01? Now if you apply KVL in this circuit, can I say EDC is equal to V01? So EDC is equal to V01, and polarities of this is same. Upper terminal is positive, lower terminal is negative. So V01 is also positive. V01 is positive. Now polarity across this has changed. Okay, so V02 has to be negative, or since we are studying steady state operation, I told you. So V02 is nothing but this V02 is nothing but the voltage across the diode. This load is connected in parallel to this diode. So this Vd is equal to V02. I am considering it as ideal operation. So Vd will be 0. Okay, so V02 will also be 0. So V02 is equal to 0 at steady state. Now we'll plot this. Achha, before that, going into this, I'll draw the quadrant. Now this 2 as a total represents the whole operation of the circuit. So I should take V01 and V02. So V01 is positive, V02 is 0. If I do the average value, I'll get a positive value only. So I can say the output voltage of this converter is positive. I01 and I02 are both flowing in the same direction. So both are positive. So if I take the average value of I01 and I02, both will be positive. So I am getting V0 also positive, I0 also positive. So can I represent it in the first quadrant? E0 positive, I0 positive. This quadrant of operation is this one. If I am drawing this waveform, output waveform, I am considering continuous operation. So inductor is not allowed to completely discharged. I'll come to IG afterwards. Let us discuss about this one. This is T on, this is T off.
V0 2 টা 0 কেন হচ্ছে?
কোনটা? Which one?
V0 2.
V02. V02 is minus, this is plus. If I calculate the voltage across this will read the voltage across the diode only. So if I apply KVL, V02 is equal to VD. If diode is ideal, V02 will be 0. If it is not ideal, it will have some drop.
ইন্ডাক্টরটা তো ডিসচার্জ হচ্ছে সেই সময়।
হ্যাঁ, ইন্ডাক্টর টোটালটা লোড, this total is load, V02 is total voltage. And V02 is the total load voltage. This is the total motor. RLE is the total motor. So this is totally as a load. So when I calculate V02, it is equal to direct VD. Where V02 expression you can write RI plus LDI by dt plus hobe na because polarity has changed, minus LDI by dt. That's why if you write the KVL over here, you will see that over here it was RI plus LDI by dt plus E. If you write over here, it will be minus. So from that minus, you will see the magnitude is decreasing, right? The voltage is actually decreasing. That's decreasing voltage is nothing which we represent it as minus. So polarity, that's why it is changed, because it is decreasing quantity. That's all. For this, in the first up to this T-on, T-on, what is happening in the T-on? EDC is V01 is positive and magnitude is EDC. So EDC is drawn, V01. V01 is EDC over here. In the second, V02 is 0. So in the second T of V02 is 0. So this is on cycle, this is off cycle. That's why IG is kept on over here. This is off over here. IG means gate pulse, means how the switch is on and off. Now, during this period, I0, during the first period, what we'll get? I01. I01 is positive, and we know inductor is charging. This is acting as my source, so it will charge my inductor. So it is charging current. Next, don't look at this, I'll go through this only. I02 also is in the same direction of I01. So direction is same, positive. So inductor current will be positive in nature. But now in the second figure, it is discharging. So discharging current, positive current. Now if you see the waveforms, if you can't understand this one, how to calculate average value? If you look at the waveforms, can you say what will be the average value of this? It will be nothing but a center line between these two. So this center line is above 0. So this is obviously a positive current. What will be the average value of this? Somewhere over here. This value is above 0. So obviously my average value of E0 will be also positive. So positive voltage, positive current. So we have first quadrant operation. First quadrant operation. Okay, up to this, anybody has any doubt, you can tell me, or we will proceed. Theoretical exam, if it is there, then you have to write in statements. This you have to write down. Then you have to write down applying KVL. We will get this one is equal to this. This one is positive. This one is 0. This one is positive. Hence, taking the average value of both is taking the average value of both V01 and V02 will get positive voltage. Taking the average value of I01 and I02 will get positive current. Since positive voltage is there and positive current is there, it is first quadrant. This is in sentence you have to write down in theoretical exam. Otherwise, this thing should always be present. This circuit should always be present in your exam. Means exam copy. Okay. Next, we'll discuss about discontinuous load or current operation also. What is discontinuous current? See, if you compare this inductor current, it is having a minimum value, it is having a maximum value, then discharging up to a minimum. Now inductor current has become discontinuous, so it has discharged up to 0. Again the same procedures over here. I'll change this I02, don't go by this. I'll send you the corrected PPT only. Okay, so follow that PPT. This will be positive over here, this value will be positive, and this direction will be this one. This is wrong over here. Don't go by this. Okay, so during this positive cycle what will have charging, right? During the negative cycle what will have discharging. During positive cycle what will have EDC, during negative cycle what will have 0. Now another small period exists over here. That means I have not given gate pulse, I have given T off up to this. This T off is up to this now, T off. Now inductor completely discharged at this point. So after that my current will be 0 for during this period only. Now if my current, this is 0, or anywhere if you consider, if my current is 0, so there is no current through this, there is no current through this. This LdI by dt R I naught becomes 0. So only voltage that remains at the output is your E. So if I connect a voltmeter over here, so it will read only this potential E. So that's why it is reading E over here. This is reading E over here. So this is reading E over here. This is discontinuous mode of operation. In your question it will be stated which one to explain, whether continuous or discontinuous. According to that you have to draw your waveform. If discontinuous asks this one, if continuous asks you have to draw this one. So this is how your first quadrant or class A chopper operates. Next one, last topic of discussion, next one is your class B chopper or your second quadrant chopper. So it can operate in only second quadrant, plus E0 minus I0. This is your circuit we should remember, but in your exam you should draw this one, second figure. Load is replaced by DC motor, so RLED. Again same things are taken, plus is this one, minus is this one. I0 is in this direction, so I can draw I0 in this figure in this direction. I0 in this direction only. Okay. So all these currents, voltages are positive. Okay. Anything apart from that will give you negative voltage or negative current. So over here we are seeing that there will be negative current that will flow through the circuit. That means I0 direction will be opposite. Now what we'll see, check whether the current is negative or not, and we'll also see that whether the voltage is positive or not. Now again there will be two modes of operation. Once chopper will be on, so there will be a circuit. We'll find out E0 and I0 or V01 and V02. Once chopper will be open or switch is open, then we have to find out V02 and I02 and then calculate the average value. And if the average value of current comes out to be negative and average value of voltage comes out to be positive, then only it can be called as second quadrant or class B chopper. So what we are discussing about second quadrant chopper or class B chopper, which will operate in the second quadrant. Okay. Now how it operates in the second quadrant. So second quadrant, remember, my current will be negative, voltage will be positive. First operation, chopper will be on. Suppose if chopper is on or chopper is off, what will happen? If chopper is on, there itself is a short circuit formed over here. So this back EMF or this EMF voltage source forms as my source. It will charge my inductor and pass my current through this direction. Okay. Now if the chopper is open, this total inductor also now acts as my source. Now the load total, this total voltage will supply my source through this diode if this chopper is off. Provided that this E0 will be greater than EDC, then only current can flow in this direction. So we'll jump into the figure. So now switch is closed. Now this EMF source acts as my supply. So this forces my charges my inductor forces in this direction. Okay. So now if you want to go after the polarity, you can check your inductor polarity and give it. But if you over here, since switch is directly connected across this load, whatever the polarity is there, plus or minus, this VSW will be V01. And if I consider it as ideal, V01 will be 0. So remember that whenever V01, this load is connected across a diode or switch, at steady state, this value will be 0. So V01 is equal to 0 at steady state. Now current I01 and this I0 direction is opposite. This is flowing into the load and this is flowing out of the load. So I01 will be treated as negative, direction given this side. Now inductor, in the next figure, inductor will discharge in the same direction. So current direction will be same. So I02 and I01 will be same. See, I01 and I02 direction same. Hence both are negative. Both are negative. Now what will be the voltage over here? If we apply KVL, V02 will be equal to EDC. So V02 is equal to EDC. Now we'll plot this. So in the first cycle, V01 is 0. So, okay. Now they have little bit you should understand from this figure. See this gate pulse. First is off, then is on cycle. So first we will draw the off cycle, then we'll draw the on cycle. Okay, you can draw the opposite way also, no problem. But for understanding purpose, they have drawn like this: on, off cycle and on cycle. So we'll consider the off cycle first. So off cycle is which one? This one. That means switch is off. What is my voltage? EDC. See, what is my voltage during off cycle? EDC. Diode D2 is on during this period. Now, what is my current? I02, negative. And this time the inductor is discharging. So inductor current is negative. See, below 0 it has been plotted. And from here to this point discharging exponentially. Next, in this on period, what is my V01? Is nothing but the voltage across switch. So that is 0. So V01 will be plotted 0 during on period. See, when CH2 is on, my V0 is plotted 0. I01 is charging but negative since my direction is this one. So it is charging from this point, it will exponentially increase to this point. So it is charging. Okay. Next cycle again discharging. So it will discharge from this point to this point. E0. So this is EDC, then 0, then EDC, then 0. So this is discharging, charging, discharging, charging, discharging, goes on. Gate pulse, how they have drawn? Off, on, according to that. Now you can draw your source current also. How can you draw your source current? If you recall this figure, from this figure, IS is the source current which flows through this EDC, from this EDC, and direction is from coming out of the plus terminal. Now if I see this two figure, where is EDC connected? Is it connected in the first circuit or the second circuit? Obviously in the second circuit. So during this period, IS is 0. During the first cycle, IS is 0. And during this cycle, what is this cycle actually? This is my on period. So during on period, what should be my IS? 0. Look over here. See, IS is 0. During my off period, this is nothing but the load current. This is a series circuit. So whatever I have drawn the current I0, I can draw it, the current for the source also. So during this time, the source current I0 is like this one. So I0 is drawn like this. Then it becomes 0. Then it becomes again like this and goes on. Similarly, for these two figures also, you can draw your IS and draw everything. Okay. You can draw your IS, you can draw your ID, anything you can plot it. Only thing is that you should remember one figure should be as reference. See, I0 is the reference.
Sir,
bol. Tell.
পরে স্যার পরের স্লাইডটা একবার যান, মানে পরেরটাতে। হ্যাঁ এইটাতে যদি ইডিসি টা যদি ই এর থেকে গ্রেটার দ্যান হয় তাহলে তো I02 টা পজিটিভ হয়ে যাবে।
না না, I02 পজিটিভ হবে না, মানে স্ট্যান্ডার্ড ডিরেকশন দিস ওয়ান। I0 will be always entering the load. My DC মোটরে কারেন্টটা কি হয়, আর্মেচারে কারেন্ট ঢোকে, রাইট? কারেন্ট enters the armature, but in this case what is happening, sorry, in this case what is happening, current is coming out of the armature na, it is acting as a generator now, braking mode
আচ্ছা
operation, ঠিক আছে?
আচ্ছা
ওর জন্যই now current is taken to be negative.
হ্যাঁ
My load is a DC motor, but I am operating it as a generator or in a braking mode, so my current is changing.
হ্যাঁ
ঠিক আছে? That is my classification of quadrants.
ঠিক
ঠিক
আছে।
আছে? ঠিক আছে, এই অবধি আজকে। দেখো তোমাদের এনি ডাউট যদি থাকে, how classifications are made and all, you can ask me. These things are all basically on this quadrant of operation, which quadrant it is operating. Next, this classified class A to E. Okay, positive voltage, positive current, which quadrants A and B today we have discussed. Next day we'll try to discuss all this C, D, E and check how this is done. Practically, how we should understand this circuit. We should draw the circuit, first main circuit like this one. Then once chopper will be on, we'll draw a circuit, apply KVL, write our equation. At steady state, all values will be written at steady state. Give our direction of currents and write whether it is positive or negative. Again, when switch is off, we'll draw a circuit and write the equivalent voltage and current, and then we'll try to plot this. And how will, mathematically, if you want to calculate, if you can't, means if you suppose if I tell you to write mathematically, then you have to draw these two figures, apply KVL, write these two equation, and write average value of this two is positive, hence and average value of voltage V1 naught and 1 and V naught 2 is positive, and I naught 1 and I naught 2 is positive. That's why current and voltage is positive. That's how you have to write mathematically. And graphically, if you want to represent, it will be a good representation. See over here, if I directly see it, I naught you are drawing above 0 only, so positive current. In the last figure, see I naught is drawn below 0. I can find out the average value, it will be in between this, so obviously it will be a negative current, and average value of this will be in between this, above 0, so positive voltage, negative current means second quadrant, class B operation. ঠিক আছে? So up to this is today's lecture. I'll correct that PPT over there and send it to you on your Google Classroom, today's and yesterday's lecture as a whole. Okay, ঠিক আছে, যদি ডাউট না থাকে বলো, তাহলে স্টপ শেয়ার করে এন্ড করছি মিটিং।